The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy.
On this episode of Pennies Going In Raw, we discuss this week in the market. Then we interview Grayson Allen, NBA player and NCAA champion, on his new journey learning to trade, comparisons in trading in pro sports, and much more. You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello? 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, fuck, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight. The pennies we need are everywhere around us. Pennies.
Going in raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity of Dips,
And Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going In Raw. Today is Wednesday, August the 11th, and you know, we're seeing like the switch up. It goes from like accumulation of small caps to large caps to just this shorten up. It just seems like August is the month that you just have to have every tool on your tool belt, or like you just can't. Obviously, we say it every week, but you can't fight the trend, and it's just more so in August.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a month where, you can easily blow up your, 30% of your account. When the transition is happening between, large caps, small caps, if you overstay on a trend, then, you could easily, let's say Monday, you could lose last week's gains. And then Tuesday, you are playing from the back and you're trying to revenge trade just to get back from last week's gains. And then, that's the time where instead of losing last week's gains, now you lose 5 to 10% of your account. And then from there, Wednesday rolls around and you just dig yourself deeper. And that's where it can quickly, 1 or 2 plays can quickly have you down 20, 25, 30% of your account. So that's when it's really, really tough as a newer trader and for any trader to, identify a trend, think that that trend is going to be there for a while. And then when that trend, is only there for, let's call it like the 24-hour news cycle, that's when you can get yourself into trouble. It happened to me. It happens to a lot of traders. And that's one thing that you really have to be careful of is being nimble with these different trends. This week we're seeing small caps do well. Last week it was, as Dan said, all about AMD and the large caps. And like I said, if you overstay on a trend, you could quickly find yourself, digging yourself a pretty deep hole.
Yeah, and I think it's something a lot of new traders will experience. They'll always be that month, and especially after it seems like the market's been treating you so well, you'll have that cold streak where it just takes it out of you. And if you allow it to be a whole month period where it takes 25% of your account, it's going to be really tough because you're going to be aiming for that number you were at beforehand the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah. We all know how it goes. It's one of those things where, it's super tough to have daily P&L goals and daily goals in general because, 1 month can really put you back or can put you back or give you that confidence. January was super hot for a lot of traders. So if you had, let's say that you did 100% on your account and you hit like half of your yearly goal, let's call it, then you were going to probably say that you could do 3 or 4x on your account. That wouldn't be crazy to think. But then if you were to judge the same thing in March, you would have most traders gotten killed. So it's one of those things where having, a daily P&L or daily loss can really kind of kill you, especially like in a market like this where, you know, maybe you just want to make $1,000 or maybe you just want to make $100 a day, something like that.
Yeah, and I think since we're, you know, interviewing someone on this episode who has a huge time commitment being a professional basketball player, and then obviously a ton of our listeners are kind of new, starting out, they have a job. How exactly are, you know, we always tell the people that have jobs, if you want to trade while working and you can't be at your computer all day or even for long extended periods of time, it's mainly just swing. But in markets where swings aren't really working, what exactly are they supposed to do? Is it just they're just supposed to sit out and watch?
Well, I actually think the ideal situation for most swing traders is to have a second income, whether that be a job or something. For me personally, it just doesn't make sense with, you know, the podcast is my second job and stuff. And, you know, trying to take care of, you know, Twitter and trying to educate, you know, like that's what I consider my second job. But I mean, for most swing traders, it's beneficial to have a second income and to have a second job. Now, that doesn't mean that you just go away, you know, for months at a time. But what that means is that, you know, you have your shopping list, I call it, you know, you have your shopping list ready and you stalk these different plays all the time. I mean, you're constantly staying familiar with them. You know, you keep up with their management, you keep up with their news, you know, things like that. And by doing so, when the time comes, you know, you're ready to attack. The thing that I can think of to most help people realize this is Clove. I think it was end of April or May when Clove had 2 days of massive volume. I think it was in 2 days, it had more volume than all of the previous 2 months combined. So, I mean, that's huge to think about. In 2 days, it had the previous 2 months volume. So when I think about it, I mean, that would be the trigger if I was a swing trader that really wasn't actively inside the market, you know, day trading and stuff like that. That would be my signal to, you know, put some money into the market and to attack, because, you know, that signal that algos are back on, that's a signal that, you know, things are happening. And I mean, Clove moved massive. It wasn't like Clove just didn't move. I mean, Clove had a really good 2 day stretch there.
You know, I guess when you're watching it and you're waiting for your time to really hop in, is it, you know the stocks you want to enter. Let's say it's like lots, and you also kind of feel like the lockdowns are going to start again. So you're kind of thinking maybe some food delivery plays like Waiter or something. And you see like both of those, you know, yesterday or 2 days ago looked like decent entries. And now you're looking at them today on Tuesday, and they're both down like 10 to 15% again. And although, you know, earnings reports and stuff had a play into those, but when exactly should you enter those stocks? Do you wait for the volume to come back in? Do you wait for a chart reversal?
Yeah, I mean, as we just talked about with Clove, you know, I mean, I personally wait for massive volume because volume precedes price action. So I think that, you know, if I'm a swing trader who's, you know, pretty much playing outside of the market, then I'm waiting for that time, you know, and that signal. You know, it can't be one of those things where you just say like, hey, I'm taking off, you know, February, you know, because that's not really how it works. You know, you don't get to choose when the market's hot and cold. So I really wait for those big volume days or those days where you have like a Kodak last year. You know, I think Kodak was a perfect moment as well. And when that happens, you know, when that happens, you know, that's when you can kind of attack and because you know your shopping list and because you know exactly what you're doing, you know, and you know where your entries are, you know, where support and resistance is because you've been stalking those plays for months, you know, that's when you can really go after. For me, it's something like I've been watching Lots and Waiter for, you know, one of my good friends, you know, he's been watching Waiter for like 2 weeks. I just started a position on it because it's down 30%. You know, if the Delta variant starts, then, you know, starts to get worse, you know, I mean, people are going to flock back to those food delivery plays, maybe some of the COVID vaccines, but I think it's a really safe place, and it's almost a penny stock again. The market cap's like 180 million, and they're doing 200 million in revenue a year. So I think that's a pretty safe one. And then lots, I've been watching lots since like 6, like here and there. And it's never, and it doesn't mean that, all of a sudden be like, yep, here's the entry on lots. But if a big volume day comes in and it comes up on a scanner, or let's just say we have some fundamental news about used cars, something like that, then that would have me interested to take a position. I mean, here at $4, I mean, it's pretty cheap, but it's one of those cases where the management overpromised and underdelivered. The best example besides that I can think of is Bloom Energy. Like 4 years ago, the CEO came out and said they would be profitable within like a year. And I mean, it's been like 4 years. And right before we go into the Grayson Allen interview, we will be putting out an Eventbrite either today, Wednesday, the August 11th, or this upcoming Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So be watch on that. If you guys are coming to Reno, or if you guys have thought about coming to Reno, sign up just so we can get a better idea of, a head count, things like that. And, so we can make this an awesome event for everybody.
All right. Well, with that being said, we'll now go into our interview with, like we said, NCAA champion, NBA player, for his very first interview since being traded on Friday to the Milwaukee Bucks, the defending champions from the Memphis Grizzlies. With no further ado, Grayson Allen. Today we have NCAA champion, NBA player, and new trader, and also recently traded, Grayson Allen. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. It's you do a lot of things, I'll be honest. From gaming, streaming, and obviously basketball. Now you're even starting to trade.
Yeah. Well, that was a good intro. How long did it take you to think of that one?
This is on spot right now, man.
Oh, nice.
I've got a couple trading puns. We'll knock a couple of them out later. But we're gonna start this out on trading questions specifically. This is a trading podcast. When did you guys start trading? I mean, are you the COVID trader typically, or what is it?
Basically, so I started, I want to say it was October of last year. So it's been like 10 months now I've been trading. And I hadn't done anything before that. I'm like super conservative with my money, so I was basically holding mostly cash. And I saw like this big crash of the market, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is gonna last. So I wish I would have like just started jumping into things aggressively, but I kind of like slowly just started to get into trading.
You decided to be smart instead of go all in and put your whole like signing bonus in it.
Yeah, basically.
Dude, the financial part of me is sweating hearing you tell me that like most of your money was just sitting in cash. Like it's like I'm sweating. My hands are sweating over here hearing that.
I had the like the basic stuff. Like I know you'll be happy to hear. Like I was already doing the IRA contributions.
My man. Oh yeah. Man, this is exciting stuff, guys. Oh yeah, man.
But other than that, it was just pretty much cash.
Yeah, most interviews we do don't have a contract like yours, so it's a little different for this. But I mean, what's trading been like so far? Like, what has been the most difficult part, and then also like, what do you find rewarding about it besides just the cash?
Well, so when I started out, for like kind of like a month, I was kind of like just. I didn't put a lot of money in, so I was just making real small trades here and there, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then for like a 2-3 month period, like I pretty much tripled my account, just not knowing what I was doing, just complete beginner's luck, just like seeing a ticker on Twitter and throwing money at it, and then boom, like
those are the days.
The biggest trade I had was I bought like way out of the money options for IDEX, and they went. I started scaling out at like 3,000% on them.
That's a good point to take profits, man.
So yeah, there was pretty much just me getting extremely lucky for 2 or 3 months, and then came back to reality for the next 2 or 3 months when I had no plan to protect my downside, and not every single play was running. So at that point, during that period, I kind of had to figure out what exactly I wanted to do, kind of my trading plan to have what my risk level was.
Was this in like February of this year, like 2021, when we kind of had like that slower market?
Yeah.
And so you went from being up 300% to, did you lose? Did you lose or?
So right now where I sit is basically a little above even. But most of that is because I started pretty small. And so like my total account size now is way bigger than what I started with. So those 5, 10, 15% losses I got like 2 months ago were like the same size as my 300% wins from, 10 months ago. So, I'm just glad that I'm like pretty much sitting above even, and I didn't, jump all in at first and lose all that.
How much does your like practice schedule and everything affect or like go into your trading strategy?
So, it makes me mostly have to do swing trades just because I can't there's going to be 3 or 4 hours one day where I can't like monitor a trade. And so a day trade, I can't just be like stressing about a day trade while I'm at practice or something, So actually during the season though is when I actually have more time to day trade because our games are at night. Sometimes you shoot around in the morning, sometimes you don't. So there's actually like 4 hours in the morning where you're free.
So, I mean, if you're stressing about it, is this money that moves the needle for you? Or is this just like, it could be $50 and it'll still stress you out? Or is this like, you're like,
It wasn't before. Now I'm to the point where my account is like, if I was day trading with like my full, like what I call full position size now, I would definitely be stressing about it. Yeah. But I still, at this point, like I still have that very conservative mentality. So I'm still preventing myself from like throwing big money into one play. It still like makes me want to spread it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, those are definitely good points because, I mean, especially because you got to think about it. It's only been since, I guess you're coming up on about a year trading.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of where you start to really find your strategy and everything anyways.
Yeah. But at this point, like, I'm starting to feel more confident, like, taking bigger positions. And that's only because, like, I know my level to get out. Like, I know my risk is 5 to 10% most of the time is the max risk that I'm going to take on something. So
do you have
that,
any? Go ahead.
No, just saying, knowing that, like, it kind of gives me more confidence in my position size.
Do you have any plays that you're just long forever on? Like, maybe the ticker Trip Advisor.
Oh, wow.
You like that one? That was from the intern.
That's a good one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But it was a serious question there. Do you have anything wrong?
Not that I'm just like long without even thinking about. So the way I have it now is I'm not like I don't manage all of my cash in a trading account. Like, so I have a financial advisor and have like a majority of that sitting in a fund that's just, I'm not going to look at it. I'll look at it in 10 years, and that's in all your blue chip stocks, right? Like Tesla, Apple, like the big guys. And then for me, I have 2 separate Webull accounts. One that I take swings that I manage closely, and the other one is stocks that I kind of like and accumulate on dips. Palantir has been a big one. Stem, Lucid. Yeah, no, I love it. And my girlfriend kind of looks at me weird when I'm spending like an hour just looking at charts and drawing lines, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" But for me, like it's enjoyable. Like it's addicting.
Yeah, I always kind of compare it to a video game, and you also being kind of a gamer and then something I'm not, which is an athlete. Do you kind of find something in the middle of that like Venn diagram of what you enjoy about all three of them?
For sure. I mean, the looking at charts and numbers and percentages and candlesticks is like, it definitely has that video game feel, but I mean, you obviously have to be careful about that because you're playing with real money here.
Yeah.
So I think there's that part, and then it is kind of addicting to like have a plan and have that plan work out in a trade. And so you kind of see you take an entry that you like, and then when you see that happen, like that's an addicting feeling to feel like, oh, like the plan that I had worked out. And so I do feel like there's that. And then obviously, I mean, I would say 90% of the athletes have addicting personalities, and when you have that like pattern and of repetition over and over and over again, that's kind of what we do. So
has basketball and trading ever conflicted like your mindset in either one of those? Whether it be like, you're not happy about the way that you played and you come back to trading the next morning and you're, I don't want to call it revenge trading, but like, you're thinking about that last night, or vice versa. I assume that it's probably, basketball into trading. Has it conflicted your mentality at all, or can you keep those separate?
No, I can keep them separate. I would say, a lot of trading is like psychology. So I have to be careful if I'm like frustrated or had a bad game going into something the next day, and kind of try to be a little bit more mindful about what I'm doing and not trying to, because when you feel bad, you want to feel good. So I'm not trying to force something to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
You majored in psychology at Duke, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And you like went to the classes and stuff?
I did, yes.
Do you ever kind of see things in trading or from other traders where you're like, if only they knew this part about, like, what part of psychology do you see that you kind of take from your college classes into trading?
Well, I've always thought, so the part of psych that I studied the most in college was behavioral psych. So I've always kind of tried to be more mindful of that just from myself, because I've read so much stuff on it in college. So I mean, in trading, you see it all the time, like getting FOMO, chasing something, liking something when it's green, hating it when it's red, that sort of thing. And I think that's all feelings that you have to fight. And I think it's the FOMO thing for me was at first the biggest thing, like just understanding that there are thousands of stocks out there that you can play. So if you miss out on one, there's another one somewhere that you can go find.
So is your strategy pretty systematic, or like to where you say, okay, it has to have this, and this, or is it kind of like, you'll see it mentioned somewhere, whether it be Discord or Twitter, and then you do a little bit of DD? Like walk us through your process a little bit.
It's very, very systematic. So most of the time it's bottom out small caps or growth stocks. And a lot of the way how I trade comes from radio silent play on Twitter. So I basically, at this point, because I have this strategy down, is I use Twitter or Discord as a scanner. So if I see something mentioned and I can get the entry that I want on it, then I'll take it if I like it. It's most of it has to do with having a bottomed out chart near support where I can have like a clear floor level that I get out of. And then usually it has to do with a hot sector or some type of theme. So I was any ANY, FTFT, BTCM, all these kind of crypto small caps I was accumulating at this bottomed out floor level, and those have run for me a lot recently. So
yeah,
the closer I can get to
had a good week.
Yeah, I mean, any I was in at 1.4, I think, and I hit 6 yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't even get into like 250. I didn't even get until 250, and I mean, I still made a good buck on that.
Yeah, we gotta hit up him for the.
Yeah, I know, for real. I mean, shit.
So I mean, it's so basically, I'm finding a floor level, accumulating near that floor, and then I don't use a stop loss, so I'm kind of taking on a little bit more risk from that. But if whatever level I have there as my floor or support level, like 2 consecutive red closes below that, and I'm out. So that allows me to kind of just, I don't have to look at it throughout the day. I'm just more interested in where it closes.
Have you noticed like some it being kind of tougher as this market's been kind of, although it's been heating up a little bit, but the past couple months ish, that strategy where it just seems like 2 red closes in a row just seemed pretty probable on a lot of stocks?
Yeah, for sure. So what I had to kind of do was start to switch out where I was taking profit and just take it sooner. So when I was buying at whatever I had my floor as, it would go 10 or 20% up and then go down and find a new low. So I just had to start scaling out earlier. It took me a while to realize that. So I was taking, the average loss that I take doing that is like 5, 6, 7% usually. And then usually start scaling out above 15. When it's hot like it is now, I'm waiting a little bit more.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I really didn't expect to be so systematic and to, track your data.
Yeah, I'm really like, I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like, damn. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm impressed, dude. Like that's so cool. As far as some of your swing trades, is it pretty much like, do you ever, is it mostly just charts and hot sector, or like, do you ever really go into it and you really believe in it? And like, have you,
you ever doing the DD?
Yeah. Like, are you ever like emailing somebody like, yo, like, I what's up with this company? Like 50 million market cap. Like, are we sending news or something? Like, what's going on here? Like, are you like DMing like their company on like your?
No, that's just you, man.
Yeah, I'm not in it that far. That's just you.
Do you have any other like teammates that you get into trading or anything?
So Jonte Porter, who was on the Grizzlies with me, he was like, if you're impressed by me having a system like his is even better than mine. He actually has his own Twitter, where his own like trading Twitter, where he's tweeting out plays. And I want to say he's like working with somebody. I hope I'm not saying something that I'm like spilling the beans for him or anything, but I want to say he's working with someone on like a trading algorithm or AI.
That's cool.
That him and someone else are building. But he's really into it. He's a big options trader. That's what he focuses on.
Okay. I mean,
I like the
cool.
idea of NBA players having FinTwit accounts.
Yeah, like this is not
like, not Kevin Durant trades.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So I guess kind of moving on from trading into some general questions, and this is my real meat and potatoes. I stayed up on. Oh shit, where'd my Discord go? Oh, here we go. I stayed up all night doing these. Here we go. So what do you think is more stressful, being a college star athlete or child movie star? And I don't know why I said child star athlete, college star athlete or child movie star. One, you have everything you ever wanted, but kind of don't have a childhood. The other, you live out your dream, but have hundreds of thousands of old guys kind of criticizing your play.
Probably child movie star.
Yeah. You don't see many Disney, work out the Disney curse.
I feel like, at least if you're in college, at least you're 18 by then. Child movie star, you're like criticized starting at 14.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be able to handle Twitter after a bad game.
Oh, I can't handle Twitter after a bad trading day. After a bad game, dude, I don't know how you guys just don't sit inside the comments and just destroy. I don't know. Do you guys, okay, question. Do you guys have like when you guys get into the NBA, does someone like sit you down and be like, yo, you can't just like go off on people? Or like, do they give you kind of guidelines, or is it just like you all know that like you can't go off on people?
I mean, I would say most people know that you shouldn't do that. I do think though it's kind of changed. It's kind of changing a little bit recently, where more and more athletes are starting to like clap back at somebody who's who says something on Twitter, and I think a lot of people are actually liking it. So I don't know if there's as many people telling you not to do it anymore, but
please do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so some of them are fun, like the CJ McCollum "I'm trying Jennifer" to the win a playoff game or whatever or series.
Yeah.
Like, but others are kind of crazy. So, here's a good one. What's harder, trading or being traded?
Well, being traded is easy. I don't have to do anything. I just
moving
move.
that sucks. Yeah, I gotta move too in a couple of weeks.
So you're okay with change? Like you're cool with change?
Yeah. I like this is my second time being traded. So I got traded from Utah. And that one, because it happened so quick, was just like a complete shock. Like I had
right
no
after
idea.
a 40-point game too, man. What the hell?
I had no idea it was about to happen. I had no idea it was a possibility. I'm like, these guys just drafted me the year before. I wasn't even in Utah for a year, right? But this one, I'm obviously been in the NBA 3 years now. I've had a bunch of people. I've had someone get traded every year for my team. So you obviously start to feel like it's just a normal thing, more of a possibility. So I got the call this year. At least both times, I'm just happy I didn't find out on Twitter. I found out from the organization, which is
shit.
Sometimes guys just find out straight from Twitter. So
yeah,
but at least I found out from somebody. So I wasn't just.
Oh, you didn't find out from like your agent. You found out from like somebody in an organization. Like
yeah, the first time I was traded in Utah, I was actually working out in their facility. Like I just started my lift for the day, and so I wasn't on my phone. And so one of the coaches ran in and grabbed me real quick before I went and looked at my phone, so they could tell me. And then this year I was just sitting at home and got the call.
You're like the only off-season moves move the Bucks really made. I guess they just won the championship and they thought, hey, we need one more thing. It's Grayson Allen. I mean, how's that feel?
It's pretty cool. They signed Rodney Hood, signed Shimi Ojale, and then, but I mean, there's one side of it of a team not wanting you, and then there's another side of it of a team wanting you. So you just choose to look at that side. So it's cool that the Bucks, like the defending champs, traded for me. So I'm pretty excited to join that squad.
Shoot, basketball.
How do you think about it? Is it was I traded away or was I traded for?
Traded for. You gotta spin it positively. That's like when I got traded my rookie year, it was like me and like 4 or 5 other people for Mike Conley. So I was like, oh, I was traded for an all-star. That's what I told you. I was like, I traded for an all-star.
Yeah, about the same, equal value. No, what do you think will be like the pros and cons that go into like the defending champs? Or is there anything with the nerves with that one?
I mean, it's just expectations and pressure on your season, I guess. So last 2 seasons with Memphis, like we had a very young team, so there's zero pressure or expectation from the outside for us to succeed. I think we surprised people by making it to the bubble, making it to a playing game, playing in the first round of the playoffs this year. So that obviously all changes when you play for the defending champs, a team that's in a position to repeat.
Did you feel like that with Duke?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Duke every year feels like a Final Four or bust type of season.
Yeah, nah, dude. That your freshman season when you went off in the championship game after, and you're moving there to Wisconsin. It's
kind of funny, man. Yeah, when I got traded, the amount of Wisconsin fans that just absolutely hated the trade just popped up on Twitter. So I just got traded, and I go on Twitter and there's zero excitement from the people of Wisconsin. They're like, why did we get this guy? I hate this guy.
Yeah, no, and your last tweet was at me, and all of them kind of came at the woodworks and started responding to that one. And I'm like, hell yeah, notifications. But no, I mean that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun. Even
dude, we can't wait to come to a game. Like I mean, I'm gonna have to study for like 2 weeks. Like
on basketball terms, like foul shot. But no, I mean,
don't worry.
You did just mention the bubble. And you were shooting lights out there. You shot like 50% from three. Like what made people in the bubble just go nuts? You know that like basketball court you see like Carmelo Anthony in a hoodie in every summer where he drills 83s in a row? It was like, why was it like that?
Dude, I can answer that. No women. Hey.
You think that's why?
Yeah, dude. Adrian Peterson didn't have sex all football season. Look at him, you know.
I'm gonna be celibate during my trades now.
I think it's more just because it was more just like pickup. Like if you go and see any NBA player play pickup, like most of the time they're lights out. So I think that's what that atmosphere was more just like going to play a pickup game.
What's your favorite like and least favorite away trips? And do you think it'll change as maybe it'll be Memphis now? You gonna go off there?
Yeah, I don't know. So I've gotten booed in NBA arenas, and I know Indiana did for sure. I'm pretty sure Milwaukee did when I was there before.
That's an awesome feeling. Like
Charlotte, you get booed in Charlotte.
Just the Northeast.
Yeah, so I mean, but as far as like an actual like going to the city, like when I get to the city, I set up my laptop and I play video games. So whatever city we're in doesn't really matter. It's just a hotel room for me.
Damn. Yeah, dude, that's why I've been traveling a lot, but it's usually just to like go see like Tommy and Dave's concerts. My mom will be like, "Hey, you're traveling all this. Do you like the city?" I'm like, "The hotel was nice, and then the concert venue was cool, and the airport was also not that bad." Okay, so how hard was Duke academically, and be honest?
It's difficult. The part that a lot of people just assume you don't do your work, but the part that was really helpful at Duke is that the professors would actually like work with you. So it's not the extreme of, oh, you don't have to do any work. And but the thing is that like if you're on the road for 2 days and you miss 2 classes and you have a paper or something coming up, like getting a 48-hour extension on a paper or coming in to take a test at a later date is usually what ends up happening. So it's people think like, oh, you can't do your work. You know, you're in the tournament, you're traveling all the time, you have practice all the time. It's usually teachers are nice enough to give like a 48-hour extension on a paper or something that you have to do.
How was what was like college life like before and then after the national championship? Like I went to Auburn, and after Chris Davis ran that ball back against Alabama in 2013, he wasn't able to go anywhere.
Yes, I mean, I went from 6'4" white guy blending in on campus to after that everyone knew who I was. So it was a very quick change. Like before, I wasn't even playing before that. I haven't been since COVID. But before that, I would try to go back during the summers. I'm definitely going to try to catch a game this season for Coach K's last season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you have any good Coach K stories? Did he like you?
I mean, I got a few. I don't know if I'd get a call after.
Yeah,
so
dude,
we're not
he's retiring, man.
He probably watches PGIR, so
he probably does, but let's assume that he doesn't. I mean, we can assume he does on the treadmill. You know, he listens to Hugh and Dan talk about
He'll probably
small
skip this
caps.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it.
All right, man. Whatever. We'll have after
I'll
he
check the
retires.
legal
after he
after.
retires.
Yeah, you'll come back.
Yeah.
So you have to come back in a year and a half.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more special NBA question. What's it like playing as yourself in 2K without being a my player?
it was very weird at first, but like really cool. I played 2K my whole life growing up, or NBA Live before 2K got popular. And so I was always creating myself and putting myself into the game. But it's actually weird because now that I play in the NBA, I don't really like playing 2K anymore.
Because you're like, Grayson, damn it, make that shot.
Yeah, I'm not paper trading and trading at the same time. I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Like, Grayson, why are you so damn slow? Get down there, damn it. Like,
I'm way faster than this in real life. Fuck. So for video games, just because I'm a nerd too. What is your like video? I know you mainly play Apex, but I mean, I've always been like a one game kind of guy. After I got out of Pokemon, it was like Guild Wars, Halo 3, World of Warcraft, like Fortnite, Overwatch, and it was like that was it.
For me, like the first games I really started to get into were Halo 3 and then Call of Duty World at War. Those are my first two like full on addictive.
Did you get into like
games.
MLG like shit back then?
Playing game battles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
dude. I would watch them all live. Like when it was Final Boss versus Carbon in Halo 3, like capture the flag on the pit. Man, there was nothing better.
Yeah, so I've pretty much progressed along different first person shooters since then. That's mainly what I play.
Are you nice? Are you good?
Yeah.
Dude, I follow the Instagram.
This is getting like top. Apex has a ranked system, so there was like when I actually could play it consistently, like I was top 500 in that for. I've been that like 2 or 3 times in their ranked system, so I play for real. Like if I do something, like I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's why I was always one video game at a time kind of guy. Yeah, I saw you won there's a $25,000 tournament with a bunch of other athletes, wasn't there? I saw it on your YouTube.
Yeah. I don't think I won, but
you clickbaited me. I didn't watch the 25-minute video, but the thumbnail made it seem like you were
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're mixing two. I think I played in one that was for 25K and then won another that was for free.
Oh, okay. I try my best, dude.
But yeah, I mean, I ended up playing. It's like when during COVID, like everyone had a Warzone tournament. Everyone had some type of tournament going on that was on Twitch. So I played in a few of those. And
who's like your all-star NBA gaming lineup, first-person shooter?
I would say Shimmy Ojale, Devin Booker, Josh Hart, forgetting a few people. Devin Booker's really good. We had like a NBA like 4v4 or 5v5 like Call of Duty little mini tournament one time, and Book is nice. He's really good at Call of Duty.
He seems like a nice dude too. Like he's got like a nice, genuinely nice face. I feel like because I'm not a big basketball guy.
He watched the finals. And he had a broken nose, and he's like, "Damn, I feel he's a pretty nice guy."
That's a good guy right there.
Okay. I wasn't gonna ask this, but since you have the IRA, I feel like you're part of the gang now. So okay, what was? Did you have like a frivolous purchase that was just like ridiculous, like a car or like a chain or like a nothing?
Literally nothing.
What was your biggest purchase to date? Your place?
I mean, my house, yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought this.
Cash or financed?
Less than a year ago.
You got to go on the that show where they ask athletes what they spent with their first signing bonus. He'd be very impressed.
I'm trying to think what's the biggest thing that I purchased. Other than my house, like my car is on a lease right now.
What are you driving?
Audi A6.
Okay.
It's like nothing crazy.
Okay. All right, I'm not sweating this bad anymore. I'm not sweating this bad.
Yeah, no.
Dude,
no,
we need to get
no
you in a
crazy
Lambo
purchases.
with a chain. Ooh, dude, you gotta
Yeah, you're a horrible
go,
influence.
go straight to the Richard Melt. Oh
No, dude, this is exactly why we fight on this podcast. This is exactly why. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think we're about done unless you have a like groundbreaking quote we can send to Bleacher Report. That's
Breaking
always
news
helpful.
that you want to break on
breaking news.
PGIR. New sponsorship.
If you guys would have been ready to record and release this, I could have told you 30 minutes before Twitter knew that I was traded. We could have broke that.
Oh, that would have been, dude. Penny's going in Woj.
Dude, if you said to, oh my,
that would have been epic. Like, hey, decent sized trade going on a boring Friday. I was at lunch, man.
Dude, I couldn't get service when we were talking about it. I couldn't get service, and I couldn't get service. And I'm like walking out of the restaurant, like trying to get service the whole time, waiting for it. Damn.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to find out before Twitter this time because it was like 30 minutes before Twitter.
You should have just tweeted it. Yo, I've been traded.
That would have been funny. Like I actually had like my girlfriend didn't believe me when I told her. She's like, I don't see it on Twitter. You're lying. You're joking.
Yeah, when I heard about it, I searched it on Twitter and I was like, huh? I could tweet this and I'll be first.
Dude, I'm reading like old articles like, is this like is this
I
old
didn't know
news?
he played for the Jazz. I played for the Grizzlies.
I'm like waiting for it to upload on Twitter, to update and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this shit is so damn slow. Like, fucking update, bitches. Oh man. All right, next time we PGIR breaks it. Deal?
Yeah, dude. I'm an OKC fan, so we'll probably get you and a couple first round picks or someone next year. So, all right, man. It's been a blast. Thanks so much for joining us. And
thank you.
Good luck in Milwaukee, and thanks to all the new Milwaukee listeners that we'll have from this podcast.
First
Stick
interview
around
since the trade.
Yeah, breaking right here. All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.